There we go. Hello, everyone. It is me, Casual Taco. It has been a bit, as far as I'm aware. Last I checked, I died, July 21st, 2023. It's been about a year, We're really good at uploading on time, aren't we? Really, really, really good at doing that. And today I bring you another episode of Pains of Painting, a classic. Now, you may be wondering, what are you looking at? You were looking at Adachi. I think that's his name, I'm not sure. It was requested by my friend John, the John Dunham. Crazy, I know, he's still alive too. That I draw him for the episode, so that's what we're doing today. Though, there's going to be some caveats before we get into this. Last time, I basically cheated. I gave myself a drawing pen and I had a drawing tablet in front of me while I did it. I let myself erase things. I gave myself so much time. And frankly, that's kind of gross, right? So, I've changed it up just a little bit for your convenience. Let me grab my phone. So, we have a few rules that we're going to be following for this episode and episodes for the foreseeable future until I actually get good at drawing with a mouse, at which point I'm going to need to make it harder on myself and use a trackpad, but we're not going to worry about that for now. So, rule number 1, mouse only. I can only use the mouse that I have on my desk. I'm not, under any instance, allowed to pick up a drawing pen or anything fancy that makes it so I can actually draw properly, because that's not painful, that's joyous, and I don't want to get a copyright strike for being the joys of painting. We don't want that. The next rule, 20 minutes. That's all I get to draw. It does not matter if the drawing's unfinished at the end of the 20 minutes. Skill issue. Rule number 3, no Control Z. I'm not, under any instance, allowed to use Control Z. Now you may go, why? Because it makes it too easy. That's why. It's so much simpler to just draw and then go, ooh, I don't like that, Control Z, than it is to go, ooh, I hate that, and have to awkwardly erase it with the terrible eraser this app gives you. So thus, no Control Z. Now, with that said, right before we get into it, let me turn on some music, because I feel that will be good for us today. 1 hour royalty-free jazz, that should work. Is that getting picked up? I think that is. Good. Turn it down just a little bit. I have no idea how that sounds. It'll probably look horrible or sound horrible in post and be very unnoticeable, but that's okay. With that said, let us begin drawing this character. His name is apparently Adachi. I know nothing about him. So to start, we're going to need a very fine brush, because when you start drawing, of course, you're going to want to get the outline done, right? So we're going to want something like that. That's a decent head shape, follows his very broad jawline, and get a bit of a nose like that on him as well. A nice one. He also has a very big forehead, I notice. So before we draw the eyes, we're just going to draw his hair up here, and we're going to draw it spiky, because that's the kind of hair he has. Kind of horrible looking, but that's the idea. And we're going to give him a little hair tuft here, and we're just going to go down along the hair. Another little hair tuft. Kind of looks like seaweed, which I think is good. And just keeps going down and looks something like this. This is the general shape of his head. He also notably has a very wide gap between his eyes, so we're just going to draw his eyes like this, very wide apart. That one will just kind of be off to the side. And a little frowny face. Ooh, shoot, I forgot to set the timer, but a moment. We'll set it for 19 minutes rather than 20, because I forgot, and also I don't want to re-record this. Now that we have the shape of the head done, it's time to move on to the neck, which he has a log of a neck, so we will give him a log of a neck. Something like that. Beautiful, truly. Now, we could go and try to draw the body and then draw over that with clothing, but that would take too long, so we're just going to immediately draw the clothing. We're going to give him a nice wide collar, you see, something that fits with his schoolboy look, I guess. I don't know anything about this man, so for all I know, he could be a schoolboy. We're going to want to close that gap as well, because paint buckets. And then just fill that in like so, and then give him an overshirt. Runs down like this. I realize this is supposed to be a full body, but I've drawn him incorrectly, proportionally speaking, so he's just going to have some really stubby legs. Draws arms down like so, and then cut it off like so. Bring it back up, and that's half of the coat done. The other half, do the same. I realize he looks wide as a truck in this, even though in the drawing, or in the reference we have on the right here, he is not that big, but it's okay. He looks okay, I think anyway. I could be wrong. We're gonna give him a simple little tie as well. It looks kind of like a carrot. We could furnish it at the top with a carrot once we get to the fineness of the, what is it called? Color. But we can do that later. Now we're going to give him hands. Now, to draw hands, it's very simple. Draw some lumps. And that is your beautiful hand. Now, he kind of looks like a really bad creepypasta right now. That's okay. That's kind of what we're going for, really. We'll draw a pants line, and then we'll give him his stubby little legs. And just kind of have it like that, you know? We'll give him his belt as well. I know the jacket's a bit short, we'll fix that in a bit. But for now, we just need the shape of the body to be good. This kind of looks like Shaggy, actually. We're not drawing Shaggy, though, we're drawing this guy. And give him some comically awkward feet. You know, draw feet to the side like that. Because, yes. And thus, the beautiful body is complete. Now, we need to move on to color. Now, generally speaking, it would be unfair of me to do things like the paint bucket. But MS Paint's garbage. You may know this. So, it's much easier to just use the paint bucket and have it look terrible. We do like so, and then we make the pants the same color as well. The belt is a nice brown color. Then lastly, the shirt is a crystal white. It's not actually, it's a lot grayer than I'm making it here, but shut up. Next up, the skin. Now the skin normally would be done properly, something easy and smooth and nice, but here, no. I realize his hair is the same color as his shirt, so we will do that as well. Then lastly, the eyes. Now, that's the basic of the color. I realize I didn't do his shoes. Shh, you saw nothing. We're perfect here. Beautiful shoes, truly. Now that's the base, but that alone isn't that good. You need to do details, so we're going to start with the head. Zoom in a bunch, because it is convenient. He has green. I can't tell if that is gray or green. I'm going to say green, because green will look better anyway. Now, we're going to change up the brush here. We need something a little more good looking for this, though we're going to want a fine tip. Okay, there we go. Crayon. Because my mom told me crayon looks beautiful. And he has these very fine eyes. Does he have any other distinctive facial features? He has eyebrows. I forgot about those. Beautiful, truly beautiful. Very finely done indeed. What else is there? He has ears. We must give him ears. Now, I know this should have been done in the line art, but it's fine. I mean, after all, it's just a happy accident, right? And just color in the ears like so. Very delicate, very finely done, but it looks stunning and gorgeous. Next up is the carrot of a tie. Now, the actual tie is very straight and professional, but I didn't do that, so shh, we can have fun with it, so to speak. And just... it's a very dark carrot, you have to understand. And because I realize that his carrot does have a little triangle at the top, we'll add that in as well, and we'll just color over those lines like so. And there is his beautiful, beautiful tie. The other details we have to worry about are these flaps right here. I said I wasn't going to use Control-Z, but getting rid of that would be a pain, so shh. These little flaps right here, we need to replicate these on his coat. After all, we have to be as accurate as possible to the original piece. So we're gonna just add these like so, and just do it very carefully, very broadly though, because that's what they typically are. They're very broad, very wide, and they're very nice looking. After that, we have to add some big buttons. And these big buttons will work. What other things is there? Oh, I seem to have missed a detail. He has a white undersleeve underneath his sleeve. So we'll just draw that in like so. Very delicate work indeed. Somehow, this has only been 7 minutes, but I can already tell it is my greatest piece yet. Now, there's a few other finer details we're going to want to have to get. First, this belt. It's a very nice color, it's very distinctive, and we need to actually have it function as a belt, so that's the wrong shade of gray. Oops. We'll just draw over that like so, and make a very fine, very clean belt for our friend here. Just add a little thing like so. Truly magnificent in its nature, isn't it? What other things is there to note? It seems we have actually gotten it down. That leaves us with the last thing, shading. Oh, so God help us, shading. First, we're going to shade his coat, though I'm not going to use crayon for this. We're going to use spray paint, because it doesn't actually spray, it just kind of immediately covers and it looks horrible. Like so, we shade and give it a nice tone. Shade here too, like a good artist should. And then underneath the chin, it shouldn't be too hard to shave. We typically will just darken it up a little bit. And then, like so, add in some very delicate and fine shading. Add in some above as well, and add a little bit here. Now, the tie needs its own shading, of course, because it's a tie. A tie goes unshaded after all. So we're going to darken up the maroon just a little bit, make it even darker, more burgundy even, and add that as well to really blend it together well. Now, with the jacket, we're going to have to go even grayer, because I made the background gray even though I shouldn't have. In hindsight, very dumb of me. And we add in just a little bit underneath here and here. With these cuffs, it's not so hard, we just need a line of gray. And then with these parts of the hand, the same, we just need a little bit of a lighter or darker shade. The boots will be a little difficult, we're going to have to go even darker in our brown, and at that point we're basically looking at what looks like wood. He has wood boots, everyone. That's the new rule. I don't make the rules. And is there anything else? Ah, yes, how could I forget the delicate shading of the arms? People typically have, you know, shadows in those parts of the bodies. It's very complex. Now, is there any other details we're missing with our glorious Adachi? The buttons are off color. God damn it. Okay. I realize if my stepfather watches this, he'll be angry that I used the Lord's name in vain, so sorry in advance. Now we're going to just quickly redo these buttons. They lose a lot of the details, but the coloring must be right, you know? It has to be truly perfect in its nature. Now, there is some other more delicate shading that we must attend to very briefly. Knee shading. It's beautiful, isn't it? And that is Adachi. And that, I believe, my friends, is this episode of Pains of Painting. If you enjoyed it, good luck, because I have no idea if I will ever actually do these episodes again. I just do these on a whim, you know? Thank you so very much for watching. Have a good day.